my
Feel like we're
notes
good.
here.
Yeah, man. Because like I said, I just did a whole almost 30-minute video on the whole situation. I don't have much to say.
Yeah.
I had, like I said, I had to get that shit off my chest early. I couldn't hold it until today.
Yeah, when I thought about it, it's probably not much I'm gonna say either, because I sat and thought too much about this, and I had the silence of not having the internet for that whole day it took place. I just I wasn't crowded with the noise of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram for that day. I got it straight from cable news, which is rare these days.
Right. And I mean that's understandable because I mean you weren't on the internet to react right away. So I mean I understand where you're coming from, but I basically sat here all day and just let it process. And I was doing things around the house still, but just it was just still on my mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
we take a lot of stuff for granted. We always sit here and look at things for what they are and not what they really mean. Like people
Mm-hmm.
look at stuff on face value and just run with it. They got their jokes, they have their memes, they have
Right.
this, especially with the way things are going with social media now. Everything is a damn joke. You know what I mean? Everything is a joke. And even with the passing of Kobe, people tried to make, people tried to be serious, and you had some people who just went way left with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to get off of social media because not only that, the fact that we have social media is the reason why a lot of people they say some really over the top things, but we'll get into that. This is
Mm-hmm.
episode 114 of the First and Framerates podcast. Myself, VF Baller, DJ's here. We talked to Bills earlier today. Bill said that he won't be able to make it if he pops up. He's always invited to come in. He's a part of the podcast, but it looks like it's just gonna be me and DJ. Got a lot to talk about. It is episode 114. You put those together. You can put that as 24. Um, you can um,
Nice.
you can actually put those together and make that as 8 if you really do some weird multiplication.
Multiplication? What
Yeah,
the
I'm drinking at the same time.
Pooh? I know if you're listening, you said I was going to make the mistake. Get him.
No, that's
It's
fine.
like
I mean,
I
it's
know.
whatever. I mean, I'm drinking while I'm talking, so it's okay.
What are you drinking?
Just Dasani. Uh,
Dasani with a little bit of henny.
no. I had some water in my mouth as I was talking. I was trying
Oh,
to finish up, but nevertheless, it's been a somber Sunday for a lot of people. Going into Monday, now it's Tuesday. A
mm-hmm.
lot of people are still in disbelief of what happened.
There are no NBA games playing as we speak. They were all canceled.
That's a good thing.
So,
That's a good thing. I mean, I think that was the proper thing to do. But with that being said, it's a lot going on, not only just in the basketball world, not only just in the sports world, but when you look at just pop culture and across the world. I mean, Kobe Bryant was an icon to many, and on and off the court. I think this is one of the reasons why it's so shocking. Let alone that he was only 41 years old. Not
mm-hmm.
only that, it was just as heartbreaking that his daughter and his daughter friends, his daughter's teammates, and their teammates' parents was on the board on the helicopter,
Right.
and they was headed to a basketball game.
So there was like several. It was like not just Kobe's family, but like their families were affected as well. And again, it was like other things that were going on surrounding it that actually made it even more complicated. And I'll get into that later.
Right. I mean, it was just a lot to take in, even if it was just Kobe Bryant himself and nobody else was involved. It was a lot to take in for plenty of folks who were just not even a hardcore fan of the sport, just a casual fan of the sport. And it took me a while to really process what was going on. But at the end of the day, I end up I didn't make a rant. I really just thought. I actually let the words come to my brain, and I just spoke on them Sunday night. And it took me about 20, maybe 25 minutes to get it all out. And I felt better afterwards because for me, it was not just about Kobe Bryant. It was way more valuable than that. It was more to like how petty and how life can really seem when you're not uh when you're not really thinking about it. And it just took a toll on me when when I realized what really mattered. Because sometimes we just forget. I mean, that's just. I mean, we're human. Things like that happen. We forget about the little things because we're all consumed about the big things. And for the past few days, I've been grounded with that. And I mean, I don't have to go much more into detail with that. Just whenever you guys get a chance, just check out my Life is Precious video. And I just streamed. I didn't care who came by to watch or whatever, who was live at the time. I just had to say what I had to say, and I kept it moving. So DJ, I know you had a lot to say. You actually wanted to take to that today and this episode to say what you had to say about Kobe. So I'm gonna let you just have your time. I'm going to just sit here and fall back, and I'll have some closing remarks afterwards.
Okay. Well, just to get everybody some context, let's see. I know Saturday I had just disabled my Facebook account, and I think Sunday morning, like early around like 4:30, my internet went out. So I was without internet. All I had was the cable TV. My phone was off. And the first thing I heard, I was playing State of Decay 2, which I normally am playing now. I was playing State of Decay 2 when all of a sudden my sister, she yells out, Kobe Bryant just died in a helicopter crash. I'm like, what? That's, and you know,
I mean, when you hear something like that, you
yeah,
automatically think tabloid.
that wasn't my automatic thought. I was in disbelief, but then I was like, is that true? And the main thing she was telling me, she was like, oh, it was just posted on Twitter. I was like, who on Twitter? Like I'm the type of person that if I hear something and there's a general response as far as the source, I want to know more. I want to know who's tweeting it, who's posted, whatever. And all she could say was on Twitter. And I can understand that she was in shock with what was going on. So I feel it was hard for her to really tell me who was. It didn't matter to her. All it mattered was that Kobe died in a helicopter crash and he was gone. So she's not much. She wasn't much of a Kobe fan, but being a basketball player, it really shook her.
Right.
So I can understand her emotions as it was unfolding because I'm like, all this was coming out like just as the crash happened, and then all of a sudden I think TMZ was like the first one to report on it.
First and most accurate, to be honest.
Most accurate, but my thing with that is that they reported it, but the whole world knew about it apparently before the family knew about it. But families knew about it.
That's how it usually be, sadly.
Yeah,
Nowadays.
is the consequence of having instant media, instant social media, instant news, 24-hour news cycle. So somebody's already looking for the scoop. So I'm basically reliving the 90s as far as where I'm getting my information. So I'm waiting until it appears on like Fox Sports, ESPN, and then it starts to filter in. So it just to take a side note, it was refreshing to receive the information that way. Because I can tell you right now, if I was on Twitter on Sunday with the rest of you guys, I would have been overwhelmed. And I would have been one of those people possibly caught up in, okay, this was said. Oh, no, this is true. No,
Yeah,
this is not true.
I had to immediately put my phone down. I
Yeah,
totally understand.
because there were names that were popping up. Rick Fox's name popped up in
Right.
a
How
report.
did that happen?
And that's the thing. And and the fact that was incorrect, his family was affected by it because it turned out to be untrue. He was alive and well. And then when it came to naming his daughter, we were trying to figure out, okay, I didn't know he had an older daughter that was 18, but I knew he had 4 daughters. I didn't, and then all of a sudden it was the one seen in the meme. I was like, so, and then it went from 5 victims to 9. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, well, who else was there? And then all the names are out now, so everyone knows who perished in the helicopter crash, along with the pilot. Which I have many questions. Unfortunately, he's not around to answer them. But I have a lot of questions that probably will not be answered about why he chose to fly in the conditions that he was flying, because I feel like that was preventable. He could have whatever, but they're all gone now, and all the families involved have their moment to grieve and bury their loved ones. A lot of them way early before their time. So my condolences go out to all the families that were affected by this tragedy.
Now,
And
one thing I will say about the pilot, like,
mm-hmm,
there's a lot of people who've been flying with him all this time.
right.
I think that he's been the private pilot or person, or even nevertheless, Kobe and the people who are on the helicopter, they have been flying helicopters for a while, and they're no
Oh
expert.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they would have known if the weather wasn't right. They would have probably made them stop or got off the helicopter themselves. So I'm not saying that the weather conditions were ideal to fly, but I think they were ideal enough that they thought it was okay, and just nature itself just turned on them.
Well,
I mean that's just how that's how nature is in general. So I
from
mean I'm not saying that I don't want to cast aspersions like you said to say who's at fault, but I'm pretty sure they felt confident enough that they thought they were going to be okay. Other than that, nobody would have flew with them at that time.
yeah, I'm like, with me, all it can be is questions, and plus at the
Right.
same time, my job in the Air Force partly was air traffic control. So that's where those questions are coming from. My air traffic controller nature is coming in and asking
Right.
those questions. Obviously, I'm not there. I wasn't there to witness it on the ground. I wasn't in the tower because obviously, I guess they were talking to air traffic control to get types of clearances to be able to see whether they could see through what normal visual flight rules versus special VFR versus IFR, which is instrumental flight rules. That was being talked about apparently, but that's neither here nor there. All we can do as people who not witness, but that experience this whole thing happen is to think about the moments that, whether we met Kobe, met his daughter Gigi, and the moments they were able to share with the world. I'm like, the last year you got to really see Gigi come out in her basketball videos with her father, Kobe, and just sharing that moment where you could see a little Mamba growing with Kobe. Like, she was right there, just the mean that he's explaining stuff to her on the basketball court. You could see that she knew they were in tune. So it's very tragic that she passed, he passed, 7 others passed. I'm like, even though I have questions for the pilot, his life is lost, his family is affected.
Right. You also got to understand, like, not only just Gigi was, she had aspirations to play for UConn. And obviously, she was going to probably play
Mm-hmm.
for the WNBA. You had 3 other kids on there that
Right.
had aspirations as well. So it's just heartbreaking that their dreams and goals are just taken away from them just like that. It's just sad all the way around. I mean, I understand Gigi is the more prominent and more well known person because of who her father was,
Right.
but these kids as well. I mean, they had as much aspirations as the next child, and it's just way too young to lose your life like that. Not only that, just the way they
Mm-hmm.
lost their life. It's just heartbreaking all the way around.
Now, after gaining access to my internet, which was later that night, um, and as the names were coming out and stuff like that, everyone is gonna you pretty much just hit it the nail on the head. People are gonna they're gonna acknowledge, or they're gonna talk to who they are most exposed to, who's the most famous and whatnot. Yes, there were other people that passed away, but people are gonna gravitate in their condolences towards the people that they were exposed to the most. The, I'm sorry to say this, but the other 7 you really didn't know about. I'm like, you know them now, and rest in peace to them as well. But my problem comes when people counter RIPs just to, out of spite. when people are just offering their condolences in general. And I was seeing that happen. I was like, I think that's not right in itself. I'm like, you RIP everybody, but you're gonna the person that affected you the most, you're gonna gravitate your RIP to the most. That's just the way it is, especially in social media. But I would like to share, a good moment, dealing with not literally dealing with Kobe, but dealing with the Kobe world or whatnot. Uh, this is a virtual Kobe world. Remember the game Inside Drive?
Oh yeah, I still have the game.
Yeah. Well, I got to play against Kobe and Shaq in the championship.
Oh yeah,
I had
I remember you said this on another episode. Right, right.
Yeah, I had taken the Wizards, the 2003 Wizards with Jordan, Stackhouse, and all them, with Brendan Haywood as well. I know he sucked. I knew he was a human garbage can, but I got him. I got them to the finals. I was up 3-1, and Jerry Stackhouse got hurt, and Kobe just took over. And of course, we couldn't stop Shaq because I had the human garbage can, Brendan Haywood guarding Shaq. Even with a double team, they came back, won the series in 7.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
now I'm gonna share a funny moment, and I know Kobe would appreciate it. I know some people they may be still sensitive, but it's a funny moment. So it's not disrespecting him or anything. The funny moment is when he got 2-piece by Chris Childs.
Oh man, Chris Childs. Yeah.
But the thing was, but here's the thing. Even though we laugh at it like, oh, Kobe got 2-piece, he didn't go anywhere. He ain't back down.
No, he ain't back down.
Nah, he ain't back down. He almost took another one too. But still. But here's another funny moment, and this came after his playing career. That commercial with him and Jalen Rose. Yeah, that commercial where they meet up and Jalen's like, oh God, he's here, and he calls him over, and then he was like, oh, what are you having? Like the waiter comes over, it's like, hey, what are you having? I'll have whatever drink he ordered, and the waiter was like, well, how many of them? And no, he was like, oh, and some from our friend here too. Oh, how many? 81. And gave him the death stare. And that's the other thing about Kobe, that death stare.
Right.
I'm like, Jordan has a death stare, but Kobe had the death stare.
I'm looking on eBay right now because I have 2K17 on my PC, the Legendary Edition.
Mm-hmm.
I have that on my PC.
Right.
And I'm just looking at physical copy because remember a while back, I think we said this after the podcast was over one day. I told y'all that I wanted to get a Kobe Bryant a hard copy. This was the same time when 2K20 came out with the D Wade one that looks really cool. I said I'll think about collecting the other ones, like the Jordan one. I obviously got the 2K11 one. I said I wanted to get the Kobe one. I never pursued it. Now I'm looking at it now. The game is going for over $100. The cover itself. Somebody's selling it for $1,000. I mean, you're looking at, scalpers, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, I'm just looking at the time when I could have got this game for like $3, probably sealed and everything.
Right.
$51, 13 bids, $49, buy it now, $109 sealed. Somebody selling the Legendary Edition with the poster for $1,050.
Mm-hmm.
$34.99 for a sealed Xbox One copy. I should have jumped on this like when I first said that. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up getting one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I'm looking at it now. I see some that are actually pretty. They're not bad. I mean, for Kobe, for something that I want, I always said $60 is my limit, no matter what the game is, unless if it's like really, really rare. I'm willing to spend around about that much for just a full copy. It don't matter if it's Xbox One, PS4, and I'll just get it and I'll just just have it in the room. I'm not big on collecting those type of items. Most of the stuff I collect for is stuff that I'm going to play. So, but something like this, I wouldn't mind getting. But it's just curious when I just looked on eBay and I just saw that.
And then you have the tributes that are happening, not just in the game. I'm like, that was a touching tribute when I logged into 2K, and all of a
Right.
sudden it pops up, and I was for that one moment I was happy that that was up and not the typical get your my team whatever. I hate that when that pops up in the game. So I was just like, I looked in. I had to stop for a moment. I posted it on Twitter because it that's when it really hit me.
Right.
It really hit me that this man is gone.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when it hit me, I'm like, the first thing I thought about is like how he died. It was more like not the fact that first he obviously hit me like, oh man, he's not with us anymore at the age of
Mm-hmm.
41, but it's like how he died. And he died basically doing things as a father, doing things as, he's going to support his child and watch his child outlive her dreams and or try to attain those dreams. And for me, it was just a lot of reflection, like what I need to do that's that's more significant than what I'm doing now. What really matters? I think Jay Williams on ESPN said it very well. If you go check out what he said, it's like because Jay Williams is like he's a living testimony for almost losing his life. If people don't know, he had a motorcycle accident that pretty much ended his career, but it also could have ended his life.
Shoot,
So for him,
me
it was like real significant for what he said.
well, shoot, Jay Williams, and myself had that same thing. I'm like, I was in a auto accident back in 2009. It pretty much ended my semi-pro football career,
Right.
and unfortunately, one person did pass away.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking about that, it literally slowed me down. Like from the moment it happened, from the and even afterwards, it slowed me down to a point where I had to take a second look at, okay, my morals. I had to look at my character. I had to look at, like how the accident affected other people. I'm like, there was a time where I was obsessed in finding out how the other people's family was doing because there were two other people involved. Like I said, the one person, she passed, and I can imagine how it felt for her family. So obviously, with at the time legal ramifications, I couldn't really say anything at that time, and I couldn't really like reach out to the family because I wanted to, because it's unfortunate. I'm like, the person was so young when it happened.
Right.
So, but yeah, just getting that close and just getting out barely, you start to rethink some things.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But to me, like I said, it's just all about reflection. At the end of the day, is
Mm-hmm.
what you're trying to accomplish, in your life, and actually putting it to the forefront of what you're trying to do, or what's going on, because life is really too short, and at the end of the day, we really need to prioritize,
Well, you
prioritize.
actually you had it right the first time. You were good.
Yeah, it's just you just
It
have to
didn't
put it
sound right hearing yourself saying it. That's
right.
probably.
But I mean, you just need to. We all just need to really know what's important in front of us, and at the end of the day, it's just like people talk about who's the goat, who's the greatest, and all this other stuff. I mean, I've been stopped thinking about that on that end, but it's like now I feel that it's just not worth debating. To me, I
Mm.
don't feel like it is, and I just don't understand, you know, how some people will continue, because some people are they'll continue to do it, not just I don't know. And maybe
Well,
it's me.
at the end of the day, I'm like same lessons as you have just mentioned. So I'm not going to regurgitate what you just said. But one other addition, and this is important for like how society takes in information these days, and it's something I put out on Twitter. Apparently, somebody didn't like how I said it, but or like the fact that I was referring to what happened with Kobe Bryant's passing. The fact that the media had a huge responsibility in how information was put out there. Denzel Washington said it best. We live in a day and age where we take in too much information, and then the media has that responsibility to research it and make sure it's correct before they put it out. But we're in this day and age where the media is quick. They want to be the first to get the scoop. TMZ was the first one to come up to report it. They were wound up being the most accurate, but there were other agencies that wanted to get the scoop on other names and stuff like that, and they were incorrect. And
Right. My problem
and
is
that hurt other people that it didn't have to hurt.
Right. Now my problem is I don't have a problem with being first. My thing is just be accurate. Whatever you put out there first, just make sure it's correct.
Well, yeah,
because I mean, we had people who trying to be first and putting his all 4 daughters was on the helicopter. Then you had Rick Fox was on the helicopter.
Yeah,
it was just too much. Now, like I said, if you do your due diligence and you get it right, I have no problem with you being first. But the main thing is getting it right.
Yeah, and it was basically talking about the mentality, not necessarily if you are first and we're correct. If that's the case, then good on you. But see, if you're incorrect, then it's just like if you rush through that process, then you're going to look like a fool. You see what's going on with mainstream media in general.
Because most of the time when people are rushing, they do get a lot of things wrong anyway. Mm-hmm. So I totally understand what you're saying.
Right.
You know, so it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, they just really need to make sure they get this stuff correct, because it just makes no sense that we live in a day and age where we have to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely probably by the end of the week, I'm probably gonna. I may. I mean, I'm not gonna make it a big deal. I may get a copy of this game just to have it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't normally do stuff like that.
Nike. We can look at the chat to see. Because I know a couple of people.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was going to get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I normally don't do those type of things. If you want to get any of his stuff off Nike, it's sold out. Contrary to a lot of popular belief, a lot of people say Nike took the stuff down. No, Nike did not take the stuff down. They simply just sold out. All of Kobe stuff from Nike was sold out. If you're real lucky, I'm pretty sure these will be valuable. If you can find any of Kobe Adidas endorsed shoes when he was with Adidas before the situation in Colorado, I'm pretty sure those are very valuable, because a lot of people don't know that he was with Adidas before he signed to Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the chat. Young Noble puts out, it's sad Kobe was his second favorite player behind Michael Jordan. Absolutely. To me, Jordan is my favorite player, hands down. Kobe it's hard to say Kobe is my second, because they mimic each other so well. It's almost like saying, if you're saying Kobe's your second, you might as well say he's also your first, because they were basically the same person. But I get it when you look at the accolades and all the other stuff.
Yeah, I would say I cater towards players that have the killer instinct. So yeah, Michael and Kobe were my top 2.
Yeah, but
like, when it comes to that GOAT list, they're not top. It's Michael Jordan and 4 other people before Kobe, because I'll go by position before I go, and Kobe be the 6th man. But anyway, but my top 2 killer instinct type players: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the next one on the chat. Ravens Nation said it was so instant. At least if you pass from a health condition, you have time to set things right with the family and friends, forgive all people you had grudges against, prepare, and he had no time at all. No, absolutely.
Wait 1 second. I think, not saying that he knew he was going to pass, but he did a lot of that, because the big one was Shaq. It seemed like he was doing a lot of that, and even to show like public support for even LeBron, because remember, they were trying to say that these two kind of like beefing for a little bit before, especially when LeBron signed with LA, it was kind of like you got Kobe's camp versus LeBron's camp, and that was put aside.
I don't think that was
not every affair was put aside, and yes, it being so instant, I
don't think it was necessarily a situation where Kobe had a grudge against LeBron. I think that was more fabricated than anything. If I had to look at it on the outside looking in, maybe there was, but I don't.
But either way, he was able to put it to rest.
Yeah, I mean, he had to put it to rest for the public. I do agree with that, because a lot of people still like when the night before when LeBron passed him on the all-time list. he kind of put it to rest with his last tweet, saying that what Kobe said in his last tweet. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a lot of people just don't realize. That's another reason why I said earlier. Is like a lot of people use this. Oh, this person's the greatest and that person's the greatest, and literally you can make an argument that all three of these guys played in different eras. Kobe
Mm-hmm.
kind of overlapped in Jordan's and LeBron's era, but at the end of the day, you can make a case where all three of them played at different times where basketball was literally different.
Right. Even
So
even even MJ has stated recently. He was like, "Look, I don't like comparing people playing people. I mean, comparing people to different eras. I'm like, it was just great basketball
yeah,
being
I agree.
played." So.
And Ravens Nation also said TMZ received backlash for reporting it early without letting the family know it all. Yeah, and I mean, I think before you got here, Ravens, that we talked about that. I think that's one of the downfalls of not just the internet, but social media.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is a part of it because even when the internet first started, or like the early stages of the internet, you still had that gap between the news was found out and the
Mm-hmm.
public found out, even with the internet.
Right.
Now with social media, with Twitter and IG and TikTok and all these other things, stuff can jump to your phone like this,
Mm-hmm.
and like as soon as somebody press send, the world has it, and it's very hard. It's very hard to control,
Yeah,
and
because even hours into it, the local officials was like, "We're still trying to ID the bodies just to make sure." And I'm just like,
right.
"Damn, they haven't even ID'd them." I'm like, there's possibly a chance that none of them were on board.
Right,
It was
because
just other people.
you have to understand with a crash like that, there's fire, there's debris, there's
Mm-hmm.
smoke. Nobody can go over there to say like, oh, this person is this person. They
Right.
have to like, even if they put the fire out, they still have to, it has to take time for them to go over there. So yeah, it wasn't going to be confirmed to probably. I think it was actually confirmed the day later when they actually confirmed who was actually over there officially.
Right.
So but like I said, when I don't knock, and some people can knock TMC for it, and you can knock all media for it. I get it, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, with the way that the internet and social media are linked, it's going to be like this from now on. Like I said, the main thing
Mm-hmm.
is, um, if these entities do this, they need to notify the family immediately before doing it. But you're going to have that one other entity that just want to get a leg up and just press send before they press the button to call the family. So, like I said, at the end of the day, my main thing is if you're going to do this, please get it right, because if the family find out this way and it's wrong, that makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm. And then you
You
got
know,
lawsuits.
right? Exactly. You'll have lawsuits on the back end. So, anything you want to add before we jump to the next topic?
No, that's it. I believe I got everything I needed off my chest. Like I said, this was thought upon for a lot of few days. I didn't really say much on social media because I wanted to just say it on here because I felt like it was going to be an avenue to be able to get it out all at once
All right.
and then close that book.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day is tragic all the way around. But I think there's something people in the sports world who a lot of fans like to bicker so much. Some fans they bicker more than actually enjoying the games that are being played. I
Mm-hmm.
think this could be a wake up call to some people to actually be like, you know what? Let's enjoy who we have on the court. Let's enjoy who we have on the field. Let's enjoy who we have on the pitch, on the ice, or wherever you watch your sport. Because you never know, that person that you want to boo or the person that you want to cheer for may not be here the next day. So you just gotta take it for what it is and enjoy every second of it. And not only
You,
that, apply
yeah.
that to your life as well.
Oh yeah, I was about to add that too. But I'm like, you can still cheer and boo these people. Just keep it on the field of play.
Right. I mean, these people, you have people now. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, sending death threats to people for missing the catch, missing the shot, running out of bounds, calling a
Mm-hmm.
timeout, fouling people. It's not that
This has been
serious.
going on ever since Scott Norwood received those telephone threats. I know the Buckner error in the World Series. I know people were probably calling him, sending him death threats since then. I'm like, their fans is just overreaching with their disappointments and vitriol when it comes to like when players make mistakes.
Right.
So Yeah.
XFL overtime rules. You want to touch on that, or you want to jump to the GameStop
Oh yeah, let's
ridiculous?
let's go to overtime rules because I was looking it over a little bit before we started.
Yeah, I remember I
So
pulled it up. Oh, I hit the X button on it. Way to go, Kenneth. Way to go. I clicked out the I hit the X button on the window, so I gotta pull it back up again. Okay, I got it right here.
okay, good.
Let me pull this up so I can put it on the screen for everybody to see. Let's see.
All right. Now, and once you
Let's see.
pull it back up, I'll read what it says.
Okay. One more thing. Ravens, they said bickering is just another form factor being stuck in the matrix. Don't argue back with them. Hey, DJ, there you go.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about that, didn't we?
It's yeah.
That goes beyond what we're talking about here, but
Actually, no. If those people saw what I did, yeah, yeah, you guys saw it. I know. I got it.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about the XFL rules. Well, the two rules that we said that we're going to talk about. One was overtime, and the other one's going to be in replay. Today we're going to do the overtime ones, and let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it better once I pull it up. Okay, all right, that's good, right? Yeah, that's right there. And I'm gonna share the screen, and I'm gonna let you go.
I'm just waiting for the screen to pop up.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. All right, so XFL overtime rules. So overtime shall consist of 5 rounds, staged in alternating single play possessions as is customary in NHL shootouts or MLS penalty kicks. A quote-unquote round will consist of 1 offensive play per team. Each possession starts at the opponent's 5-yard line, and the offensive team has 1 play to score. So it's 1 shot, and that's it. Per round. The team with more points after 5 rounds is the winner. So there will be a winner. That's basically what they're saying. All right, so the next part says if a team has been mathematically eliminated before all 5 rounds have been completed, the game ends immediately. So they give you guys can see the example. I don't have to read that part. If teams are tied after 5 rounds, then rounds continue until one team is leading at the conclusion of a round, and that team will be the winner. So that it's the same with the NHL shootout that I'm most familiar with. They'll keep going until the end of that round that one team scored and the other team couldn't respond or whatever.
Yeah, so basically they do 5 rounds. If it's still tied, they're doing 1-and-1s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It truly becomes sudden death after the 5 rounds that they're tied. And it says for scoring purposes, each successful overtime score is worth 2 points. The defensive team cannot score. So if the offensive team commits a turnover, the play is over. That's it. No points awarded to the defense. Now, this is the interesting part because now you're coming into penalties on these attempts. So it's like if the defensive team commits a penalty, the offensive team will be allowed to reattempt from the 1-yard line. And any penalty committed after that awards the offensive team with those 2 points.
Well, wait a minute. Say that again.
I'll read it verbatim. Any subsequent penalty committed by the defensive team on any subsequent play, including in future rounds, will result in a score awarded to the offensive team.
Wow.
So that first penalty will put them on the 1-yard line. Anything after that,
they automatically get the points.
Right.
I kind of like that, and be honest with you.
Yeah, just don't commit a penalty.
Yeah, play disciplined ball, right.
But here's the thing. It works on the offense, too. So if the offensive team commits a pre-snap penalty, the ball will be moved back from the original spot pursuant to regular rules, and the play will be reattempted. If the offensive team is a kicker, if the offensive team commits a post-snap penalty, the play will end and no score will be awarded.
So basically, the play is over, then the other team gets the ball.
Pretty much, and that could be a game ender,
right?
Possibly in the later round. So, and then some logistical rules they're talking about. There will be a minimum of 20 seconds between plays with the ball spotting official working in conjunction with TV and official review to signal when the next play begins.
Okay, so there's a 20-second time This is not even a 20-second play clock. This is just a 20-second.
Yeah,
It'll be a
because
minimum.
they're doing this just for one play, so there's gonna be a lot of dead time that they're trying to take away.
Right. So there'll be a 20-second time since it's one play, so everybody can get their play together. This actually could be really like a chess match. Honestly, you can't commit penalties. If defense commit penalties, they'll get a point. The offense will get a point. If
Well, the defense has to commit 2 penalties.
they commit 2 penalties, it'd be a point. It'll be a point for the offense. If the offense commits a post snap penalty, the player in and the other team will get the ball. And in some cases, that could be a game ender if the other team is already up.
I wonder if that could be a strategic thing. If they if a team wants more spacing, like let's say if they want to call another, like if they want to call a play that has an intricate route system, like intertwining routes between receivers or whatever, they could be called for a false start, move back how many yards, and it'll give them more room to possibly pull off a play. I could see strategy being used in that manner.
Yeah, I can see that. That's interesting.
So,
and we all know the current NFL rule.
Yeah.
10-minute overtime period. Each team must possess. First team gets the field goal. The other team gets the ball. If the game ends up with a touchdown, the game is over. We kind of know that already. The rationale behind it. You can go and read that, DJ.
All right, so the NFL overtime can end in a tie, and the team's offense may never see the field. All right, New Orleans. Overtime may also take up to 27 minutes to complete. They ain't lying. In the NFL, even when they cut off 5 minutes of the game time, they still take
long,
right. So XFL overtime allows both teams to play offense in under 10 minutes and always has a winner. I felt a little poke at the end, a little stab at the NFL.
Right. You know what though? Honestly, like I said, most of these rules, I'm okay with them because it's the XFL. These don't seem like they're not like wacky over the top, rules. They're just very different.
It seemed like they're more common sense rules. Like they what they did was they did their scouting report on what NFL fans didn't like about the NFL, and basically just like, well, that's what they don't like, then we're not going to do that. We're not going to
do it. And some things that are a little bit too much. Some things that could be misconstrued are a little too complicated. We're just trying to simplify it for everybody in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like I said when we was on the podcast, what was last week or on Tuesday? Last Tuesday, I talked about the line judge. That all he does is actually just he's the guy that does the spot of the ball thing.
Yeah,
I mean that's just so simple and easy, and it's something like we all as football heads looking like, really, why didn't the NFL or even the AAF didn't even try that? Why the Arena Football League didn't even try it?
Shoot, right now there's a lot of things like the NFL trying to. They were experimenting with something, or I don't know if they did because I didn't really watch the Pro Bowl. I'm like,
I didn't watch it.
It's a glorified walkthrough,
especially after what happened with Sunday. I didn't watch it at all, really.
I'm like, I tuned in. They did their moment of silence for Kobe, but the play itself on the field, they were playing 2-hand touch. I'm like, right. So somebody caught the ball, they just hit wrap the contact. What they call it in practice? They call it thud.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what they were doing. They were doing thud. And then Fletcher Cox gets to run back not an interception. Somebody pitched it to him, and because nobody wanted to grab him, he runs back with a touchdown.
The only cool thing about the Pro Bowl, is the jerseys. I like the design that some of the jerseys that they have for the past few years.
But you know what? I missed the skills competition. I heard that.
Didn't they have one this year?
Yeah, they had one.
This is like the first time they had it in a while.
Because I think I'm trying to figure out because Darryl Green was kind of representing the NFC with his team, and Bruce Smith I think was representing the AFC. With his team, and they had a dodgeball. You seen one video where one of the linemen got hit in the head. He put out a tweet. It was like, "I'll give $5,000 anybody tell me who hit me."
What's going on, Pooh? Thanks for coming through, man. Ravens Nation said that it works on offense as well. He's okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a balance between the two. The only thing that's about it is the defense don't get points if the offense commits a second penalty. But if they do commit a penalty, they don't get any points and they get the ball. So it's kind of somewhat.
See, that's
balance.
Funny that the offense. I wonder if there's a thing about consecutive pre-play snap penalties like false start.
It doesn't
stuff
have
like
it in
that.
here. So I mean, I think that's something that they could probably tweak.
Hmm.
But they only have like if it's just a post snap penalty, like say if it's a holding call and you know how much holding happens, the player end and no score be rewarded. So if they get a holding call, the defense the other team just gets the ball and they will get no points. So it's kind of a give and take because see the offense only has one time to make a penalty, the defense has to do 2 penalties. So it's kind of a
wait a minute.
There's somewhat of a
flip it.
Hold on.
The offense can commit multiple penalties just as long as one is in post snap. The defense can't commit more than one.
Yeah, I'm saying they said the defense commits a penalty, the offense will move to the 1 yard line. If the penalty is done again by the defensive team in future rounds, it'll
result in points for the offense.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a balance. Like if defense do 2 penalties, the offense gets to get the points. If the offense do 1 penalty, they lose the ball and the defense get the ball.
The key thing being it has to be after the snap.
Right.
For them to end that play. If it's pre-snap, like a false start, then they get moved back and they get to technically try again.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean it's somewhat of a balance. Maybe slightly tilted towards the offense, but it's somewhat of a balance. It's like what Ravens Nation said. Like they're getting something out of it. At the end of the day, it's not like it's all one sided. Like some NFL rules are to the extent, like targeting and some forms of pass interference. You know how that go. Yeah, it's just something that I think once again. The XFL, if the talent on the field, which, next week I need to find out what team I'm going to pick.
Yeah, you have a choice to make.
Yeah, I have a choice to make. And we're going to ride this thing throughout the whole season. I think, I can't speak for all the other podcasts that are out there, but I think we're probably like the first is actually going to embrace the XFL as if it was like a legit sport.
Shoot, we embrace the AFL until they start robbing from each other.
Right, exactly. We actually, talked about their players and stuff. So we're gonna rock it because at the end of the day, man, all 3 of us, me, you, and Bills, we love football, and if football's being played, I really want to talk about it. So
especially now, there's a team in DC we didn't have one before, but the other one sucks right now.
Right.
So,
Ravens Nation said the Pro Bowl used to be cool to watch because it was the best players in the league. Yeah, like in the 90s,
and they were actually playing.
Right, 90s, early 2000s. They actually would play. I think when did this trend start? Maybe like 2010 or 2011. And
the thing was, I don't think there were no injuries. I'm like, what's the name? Brian Mormon got popped by Sean Taylor.
Right.
I think it may have been after that.
Yeah, it probably was because
Earl Thomas shoved Kirk Cousins down to the ground after he had thrown the ball away. Kirk Cousins was laughing about it but everybody was like, somebody should tell Earl Thomas to take some decaf. I was like, what? This is a football game.
I mean, like I said, in the 90s, these guys played. It was like a glorified preseason game where it actually felt like it meant something to them. So. I mean, I kind of miss that, but
aren't they supposed to be? Isn't there supposed to be a winner's purse?
It was
that
something
they
like
win,
that, right.
And if they're playing it like this, nobody should be awarded anything.
Just go home,
right?
Right. So it's
not like they're gonna be playing for the next several months. So just have at it, get it all out, leave it all on the field. Don't leave some for whatever you're trying to do after the game.
Right, exactly. So everybody, that listens to us either on iTunes, SoundCloud, and I forgot to put that up here.
And also go ahead, put that
this one there. Go ahead. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And on Google Play.
Yeah, join us on Google Play, download us. I had a few people subscribe to us on Google Play within the past couple of days, which is cool. We are growing and
I was one of them.
I think it was like what, like I know it was like probably about 3 or 4 people. So that's
because I got that, and because I'm subscribed to our own podcast here and Weapon Wheel. I don't think anybody else I would listen to. I didn't even listen to AGS this past, and they had Monopoly night.
Yeah, I
Heard
listened
that
to.
was lit too.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it, and I watched it. It was pretty. It was a pretty good game that they had over there.
Mm-hmm.
Tadal also said this is another thing. It was after the Super Bowl, and
Yep.
that's another thing because when it was after the Super Bowl, it kind of it didn't take the limelight from the Super Bowl. Like, not obviously, it's not going to take the limelight from the Super Bowl, but the players who were in the Super Bowl and they were Pro Bowlers as well. They actually played in the Pro Bowl as well after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say for instance, this year Pat Mahomes was in the Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's not going to play in the Pro Bowl. So it kind of took away from actually watching it. So you had players, the best players actually playing because it was after the Super Bowl, and the players actually played football. So the Pro Bowl, when it was in Hawaii at the time, at that, it was actually a good product to watch. I mean, this had to be like a 10, maybe 10 or 12 year drop off where like after 2012 or 2009 or something like that, where players just started playing two-hand touch. It got really bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but anything else y'all got with the XFL? I mean, y'all guys gonna. I'm pretty sure you guys in the chat gonna follow the XFL as well, right? I mean, obviously, if you're gonna listen to us, you're gonna, we're gonna tell you about it either way. So,
Especially my team, the Defenders, red and white, and we're ready to fight.
Red and white, ready to fight.
That's what the motto
is. That actually their motto?
That was actually the motto, and then it's also defend the DMV.
Oh wow. Okay. Hey, I'm not mad at it. I think that's pretty cool.
I just like saying it in that little that messed up country accent. I tried.
You're so stupid. GameStop is making changes, even though that they are on the verge of going bankrupt and closing out all their stores.
They're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stops. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a brilliant idea for GameStop, and they should have done this like years ago. But I think if this is done right, I think GameStop could revive themselves as a really good company. They get a lot of fanfare. People will actually get trust in them. People will go to their stores. People will actually like to go back to GameStop. So you're probably wondering, like, what the hell are y'all talking about? I'm going to show you a few pictures of what some GameStops have done to boost, customer retention, people coming in, and people actually looking at the stuff and actually buying some of the products. So I'm going to share the screen, and
while he's sharing the screen, I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. So I'm just going to wait until the screen pops up.
All right, this is one of the pictures of one of the GameStops that are out now in the wild.
Now just think about going to a library where all the computers are. It has that feel.
It does.
It has that feel like, oh, I'm going to a library, and except instead of going to look up the internet and other routine stuff that you do when you're on a computer, it looks like you're playing games. But the thing is, was there an article associated with the pictures?
No. Somebody just took the pictures.
I wish there was an article.
Yeah, I have yet to find an article on this because I've been looking. Trust me, I've been looking.
And it seems like it's geared towards the kids. So it's just like if a parent or somebody who's an older gamer or somebody who's looking in the store with their kids, it's instead of the kids destroying the store, because there was some bad. I remember the last few times I went to a GameStop, it'd be like one kid roaming around, taking stuff off the shelf, almost destroying the place. Now they have a place where they can set their attention to, if that's where GameStop's going to go.
Right.
Why is Pooh
I'm looking at some of. This was as far back as early September 2019 that they're going to start redesigning this. From what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, that the new layout was going to be the first one that I know was in Oklahoma. They started doing it then. Not many more details outside of that, but this is what this is going to look like. And here's another picture of it.
Now, you said the first location is Oklahoma?
They said the first location was in Pryor, Oklahoma.
Oh boy, I already know there's gonna be some false expectations. Do you
But
know
I
of
mean,
anything that's going on in Oklahoma besides the snowstorms and stuff like that?
yeah, I know. I mean, but this is what I'm gonna say about this. With the rise of esports and people going on Twitch to be competitive gamers, this is why I say this would be a perfect time for GameStop to do things like this. GameStop can find competitive games that kids like to play. Not even kids, some grown-ups. Some, games that are not readily available anymore, like Power Stone or Power Stone 2 or let's say the N64 not the N64, the GameCube version of Smash. Um, Games that people will always play competitively, and they want to play it in a certain, like say a tournament fashion. Like say, people want to play like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but they don't want to play the PlayStation 4 version that's out right now. Um, they want to play like, I think the one they mostly people play are I think it's either like the Xbox 360 version or it's like the older version from the arcade or something like that. I think this, like I said, with the rise of esports and all this, if they can mix this and they get away from their business practices of actually trying to nickel and dime and basically rob people out of their trade-ins, I think they can bounce back to people who actually have trust in them, buying their products, buying used games, and actually walking away thinking like, hey, I can go back to the store because not only I can buy stuff, me and my friends could come here and we can have tournaments on Saturday or whatever day they want to have them, or like with that, like in this picture right here with the table, they can have board game night, like where they can bring their board games, or they can actually start selling board games because there's a store here in Columbia, South Carolina called Firefly that does the same thing that this GameStop is doing. That company or that store is running circles around every store in the city.
What they do it? What else do they sell in
They,
Firefly?
they, they sell video games. They
Okay,
sell the League of Legends stuff, like the Dungeons and Dragons
like the board
boards,
games and stuff
regular
like that.
board games. They have an arcade section where you can go and actually play arcades games. They got a pinball area. They actually have real consoles where you can buy consoles games, not the old ones, not only just the old ones, but the newer stuff, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, all the way down to the regular Nintendo and Atari. They have a balance of everything. So not only that, the old people can come in, the newer kids can
The
come in.
old people.
You know what I'm saying? Like they even have the old X-Men arcade cabinet with the six players. They have the old NBA Jam with the 4 players. Like that particular area, that particular store is running circles around every GameStop here. They're running stores around the Best Buys, the Second and Charles, any other place where you can buy video games. Everybody's pretty much going to that place. The problem with the Firefly is that they don't get the new games right away. Like they don't get the new games right. So that's kind of the downfall to them, even though that they're doing very well here. I think that place has been up for like since at least 2016. And they're doing very well. That's pretty good for a place like that. Now
Man,
imagine you have GameStop do the same model, but they
mhm.
get the new games like what Firefly can't get.
it,
This is like a lot of people have their problems with GameStop, and I get it. But I feel that if they do this, we're nationwide, they don't even have to have all these game stops that they're out in every city. Like you have one damn near on every block now. You take out like half of those stores, or maybe 75% of those stores, condense them into stores like this, like one on each side of town or something. People will draw to stuff like this, especially with the day and age how people are competitive with their games. I mean, um, what are your thoughts, DJ?
I I'm like, to me it is a last ditch attempt to try to stay relevant. Um, I don't see this working because it's okay in Oklahoma and 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 in other places that there's not much going on. But when there's a lot going on, GameStop is the last thought on people's minds, even
I
the kids.
I
So
wholeheartedly disagree.
but if you think, okay, so if you go into like a big city like Washington D.C.,
Mm-hmm.
are people like if people you have too much going on to the point where GameStop is not even a thought in people's minds. Like they'll walk past a GameStop, they'll look in it, they'll see something like this and be like, whatever.
All right, think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
When people think about Evo, or they have these other tournaments that are in, let's say, Vegas or in LA, where they have like the Fortnite tournaments, or they have the what's the other game they play that's on Blizzard? Is it Diablo? No, like BlizzCon, where they do have like these other esports.
Mm-hmm.
Kids can't go to that stuff, but they want to go so bad.
They can
Why,
stay home.
exactly. Why don't they just have one in their local area, and then not only they can watch it, they can be a part of it. They can actually show off their own skills and actually win prizes of doing that. I mean,
but,
my thing.
But here's the thing: GameStop will have to fund all that.
I don't see a problem. Not only you don't understand, like GameStop don't necessarily have to fund this. I mean, you can have like tournaments to where it could be sponsored by, let's say, for instance, a Street Fighter tournament. Capcom could like pitch in to put this in, or you could have like SNK do a King of Fighters one.
So basically, they would be relying on these these video game companies,
right? I mean, it's no different what these conventions do now. They do the same thing. My thing is, it's just it'll be on a smaller level where more people can have access to do what these people are watching on Twitch. They could do the same thing.
Well, the thing is, knowing that this is, I feel like this is a last ditch thing. This is, to me, it's more an effort to produce more sales from their individual stores, because that's what's failing with GameStop's, their individual stores. And like you mentioned earlier, their practices precede their actual goodwill attempt with stuff like this. Because people look at GameStop like, oh, that place is a rip. I don't care.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I see what they're doing. I know what they're doing. And it's like, I'm trying to draw more traffic so I can increase the chances to increase my profit, because my stores and my company is failing.
No, see, that's the thing. They're going to have to change that business model. I mean, there's no doubt about that. They're going to have to. But if you can get, just like Ravens Nation say right here, meet the right people. I can see some old games having tournaments in GameStop. Imagine kids and old heads playing Madden 08. Not only just Madden, hell, they might want to play the new Madden. Hell, they might want to play 2K. They might want to have a tournament in it. And to have that readily available and easily available, trust me, kids will flock to that, because not only that they will be able to play with friends, they will be able to actually feel like they're actually being competitive. And for some kids, or even some grown-ups, they will be able to, find new people to play with in their own city. And for me, I just think that, not just putting all the GameStop and their antics aside, I'm just thinking, like, if any company wants to do something like this, I don't see where this is the lose-lose. I really think that this is something that will flourish if it's done right. Problem is, I mean, and the way I may be a little biased because I see it firsthand, like on the other side of town, right, where like I said, Firefly is doing it now. I mean, you can Google it now, like Firefly, Columbia, South Carolina. You can see they have a website and everything where they have. I mean, their business is booming, doing this same thing that GameStop is doing. It's not a negative thing to run a business this way. The only thing is GameStop has to get out of their way.
Wait, what's the name of the store?
Firefly.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Firefly Games.
Yeah, I see it.
They do the same thing what they're trying to do now. And it's like, it's not, if any company could do it, GameStop could do it. They have the resources, they have the games. All they need is the monitors, the possibly they may need some computers. They have the consoles. They can easily get the setup. It's not hard to do. I think if any company that can do it, they will be able to do it. And if they do it the right way, this could be very, very profitable for them. But the problem is, just like Daniel Daly said, GameStop is trash. You know why they're trash? It's because of the things they done. They need to get out their way. If they get out of their way, I think it'd be a perfect opportunity for them to resurrect themselves. I mean, to me, I just don't. I see that if they was to make a move, this is probably the best move that they could make.
Now, here's my other question, and obviously with Madden being mentioned as like in the chat and being brought up as far as tournaments, who's going to provide security? Because I think a bunch of people suffered a lot of PTSD, whether they were there or not, from that
Right,
incident that happened in Florida.
right.
So it's just like now you're talking
That
about
is
now you need some security because now you're talking about younger folks possibly being in here, and if you have a tournament, who's going to be at that door making sure nobody comes in strapped.
now.
So
I will say this now. When we did have back in the day when Madden Midnight releases, they did have security for that. Now this setup will also be a perfect time for that. Madden Midnight releases will be a thing of the future again compared to what it was now. Like even if you're buying the game digital, you can get a digital code.
see, now the midnight releases, this is where I could see it because, like I said, not like I said, but it's what I remember midnight releases used to be. They used to be like food, stuff like that. It was a big event. So okay, I could see that aspect. And now that I
Right.
think about midnight release, oh, I wish you had said midnight release before. I was thinking about it, but it was
But
just
you
like,
also got
with
to think about
GameStop,
it. You
they're
also got to
kind of
think
out of
about it.
practice.
But also, you got to think about it like this. Not only just with midnight releases. Look at a Saturday when parents want to take their kids out, and let's say that you know you had a place like a Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz or a place like this. This is literally somewhat of that nature where kids that are older, especially with the way technology is now, they can just go to a place like this, hang out for half the day, play games with their friends, have GameStop can set up a tournament. They can set up a couple of tournaments, not only just with whatever game that is hot. They can do co-ops with Destiny. I mean, it's just so many different things you can do with this aspect. It doesn't have to be just a midnight release thing, because there are a lot of games that are hot, and kids want to play with each other online. And just think about it like this: this GameStop is at this location. These group of guys at this GameStop are going against another GameStop that's in another city, and they're having a tournament, or they're having a esports type event between those two GameStops or something like that. I think when you think of the word GameStop, I think people are looking at, oh shit, I'm getting $3 for these 20 games that I'm turning in.
That's what they're mostly going to be thinking about.
Yeah, people are thinking about that, but when you really get out of that mindset and just thinking about playing games and actually fellowshipping with people and actually buying products from them because you had a good experience at the store via playing games online or playing with other friends, or like, where's that picture at? Let's see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at your Firefly toys and games. Yeah, it seems like a good spot.
Yeah, like look at this picture right here. Like if you have this picture right here where kids are playing with each other, like this one has a Nintendo Switch hooked up, or whatever the case may be, and one of the monitors have it. Like kids could go here and just have fun, and they could sit back and relax, or they can chill and play games with other people. I think when you get out of that mindset of what GameStop is now, and they change their business model to have something more oriented towards this, and not only this, like, you know what? We're going to change our business model. We're not going to try to swindle you out of your money. We're going to fix that, and we're going to give like whoever wins this tournament a discount for a week to buy games out of here, or this person, player of the month, who came in here and wiped everybody off the map with their skills, they're going to get this, and this. It's going to be more of an incentive for people to keep coming into the stores, and actually they could and actually feel like they're a brick and mortar store can mean something again. I mean, I'm not. It may seem like I'm white knighting for them, but I honestly know what this does. this type of model does. Like I said, I have one in my city, and
Mhm.
I know what it does. People love going to these type of stores. I mean, I'm probably going to go to Firefly tomorrow just to see, what new stuff they have.
Yeah,
And
because
every
I'm
time
looking
I
at
go there,
yeah,
what you about to say?
yeah, because I'm looking at the pictures right now, and yeah, I'm like, I when you mention it and you mentioned what was along with it, I automatically had a picture in my head that was a lot of board games, a lot of accessories, merchandise, space where people can play and stuff like that. Yeah, this.
I mean, nerds would eat this up.
Oh yeah.
Nerds love shit like this. They will go there and put up their World of Warcraft setup on the tables, and not only
Oh,
that,
I just came across the pinball machines.
right? They have all that stuff
Wow.
there. It's like GameStop could flourish if they go with this model and
Mhm.
not doing what they're doing now. Like King David says, that's the big aspect.
Yo,
That big aspect
Nintendo
they need to.
games.
They said they need to change their image, and this is a good way to do that. I totally agree. What you said, DJ?
Nah, I'm seeing Nintendo games: Tetris, Super Mario 3, Miss Pac-Man,
Yeah, they have all
Suffering.
this stuff. I mean, they have
They got
stuff from.
Max Payne on Xbox. Do they have the consoles there too?
Yeah, they have consoles there too.
Oh
They
god
have all
damn!
that stuff there. The only thing is they just don't get the new.
Is
They
that
don't get the.
1943? I can see it from way over here. I know that cover anywhere. Batman.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I
okay.
said, the only thing is they don't have the new games when they first come out. Like
Mm-hmm.
GameStop obviously will get the new games when they first come out. So it's like they can get the edge on what stores like GameFly are doing. I mean, yeah, GameFly, what Firefly is doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put that link in the chat so people can see kind of what that store is doing. Like I said, it's like
It's
brick and
gonna
mortar.
just to warn everybody. It's gonna take you to Google Maps
Right.
because that's where I'm getting these pictures from. So let me see.
Yeah, I think with the business model that they're doing, it's not going to work. I agree, but if they decide to do this, I don't think it was necessarily quote
Oh,
unquote
the link
save
is too
GameStop.
long.
Well, I'll just tell everybody, just Google Firefly, Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, and you'll see the pictures right
You will
now.
see
Oh,
it. Yeah,
I
you'll
should be
see
able to.
everything.
Hold up, can I?
It's just that because this right here is basically saying like we're kind of stepping back from what we used to do, and we're just going to take a different approach to where, like we said, now we look at games now. A lot of games are
There you
transitioning.
go. Found a better link.
Okay, the gaming industry is transitioning to stuff what we see on the TV. You go to Twitch right now, you will see like either one or two or maybe five different esports type of things. If you have a local esports type of deal, kids will eat that up. Nerds will eat that up. Grown ass men. Now, one thing I will say that I have a problem with, like you said about security, DJ. Now, these
Mm-hmm.
grown ass men better not be going there and touching these kids because I will go in there and whoop some ass my damn self. That shit ain't happening. But
Mm.
this would be perfect for not only just GameStop but anybody who would do it. But GameStop is the first one that I noticed that are doing it. I think it's pretty cool. King David said not just the video games. You can have Magic the Gathering tournaments. Yep.
Yep.
Pokemon trading card nights.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's nerd could get together for D&D nights. They will literally
Whoa. Pause.
yeah D&D nights. Dungeons and Dragons, man. He's so stupid. But yeah, I like I said, I think this would be perfect. And I mean, I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I don't have much on it. When I saw this earlier today, this the first thing I thought was the store near my house is like they're running circles around every gaming store. I mean, there's other. I think here's is Firefly second in Charles, Software seconds, and it's two on in West Columbia, and there's one in Sumter, South Carolina. It is like 7 different retro stores here in what 30-mile radius of where I live. That's one of the reasons why I get a lot of retro games already.
Mm-hmm.
But Firefly is the store that everybody look at. That's the store that people go to because it's so much on top of what, just gaming. People go there to congregate. People go there and talk games. People go there to play games. They have, like you said, they have tournaments like King David said. And I think that's one thing a lot of gamers, they don't want to admit, but a lot of gamers are missing that connection with other gamers. It's like you got the headset on and the microphone and you're just online in front of of
screen.
a screen, and you're talking to people online. I think true hardcore gamers, they kind of miss, having that, that brotherhood to going to meet out other gamers and actually talking and meeting them, seeing them training.
Man, some of these gamers today, if they had to face their competition and try to talk that same shit that they
Oh no,
they would talk,
that'll stop.
that would cease real quick.
That'll cease. I agree. That will cease. But I think there's some that those are the ones who didn't grow up like we did, DJ, when we actually went to school and talked about video games on that level, and we had to go to a friend's house to play certain games because
we had to deal with embarrassments when our teams would do bad. Like if our NFL teams did bad, we had to go to school the next day.
Right. We had to face that. Right. It's like, I think those are the things that a lot of gamers are missing nowadays, and if not only GameStop, but if like other mom and pop stores have the money to do stuff like this, I think it will be really. I think it will save. I think it will. I ain't gonna say save. I think it will make the gaming community more healthy, because it's really toxic online sometimes. And
because
when people can
get away with a lot.
Right, when people can get out and they can see people like this, I think it will really help with that. So I just think at the end of the day, I really think that they just need to change their business practices. If they do that, I think they'll be fine. I think that's literally the only thing that's holding them back, because if they had a business practice like Best Buy or any other places that sell games, I think they're too far gone. But if they did that initially, they wouldn't be in the red like they are now.
Man, if Best Buy picked this part of the business practice up,
right,
that would be it for games.
I agree. You also got to understand, like, look, Best Buy literally sell PC parts, so they can literally get into building PCs and having an area for something like this.
They got Geek Squad, so
exactly. So like I said, it's not just a GameStop thing. It's just that if any company would actually do this and perfect this on a local level, where kids don't have to worry about watching Twitch and wanting to be like somebody that they see in their favorite esports or whatever the case may be, and then they got to go find 2 or 3 friends to try to attempt this, where they have a place where they can just go and do it, I think it will really help the gaming community. I really would. And I think it'll be lucrative and profitable for a company. And maybe not GameStop, but somebody. I just think it's a good idea. Let's see, anybody else in the chat? No, everybody else is just laughing in the chat. But anything else you got, DJ?
Nah, nothing else. I know I finally, I think, found the right amount of settings for my NBA 2K franchise, so I got that going. My NHL franchise is flourishing right now. It's just, just trying to play these games and view these sports and enjoy this life.
Right. I'm gonna share this again. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of 2K17, because remember I told you I couldn't play any sports games.
Right.
But I've been playing 2K17, literally just because I changed my screen as well. So that's what my screen look like now. I changed my screen, so I thought that was pretty dope to put my screen like that.
There's a petition going around trying to change the NBA logo to one of Kobe's signature.
I'll be honest, I thought about that for a while, because I thought they was taking it too far. But you know what, to be honest, I really would not have a problem with that.
I wouldn't have a problem with it either. The only issue I have is that why nobody think about this before he passed? And we always do that. We always do this. We always do this. We don't really.
You're right.
Think about stuff until it's gone.
And and that's one of the reasons why I reserved my judgment to say people think that I thought they were taking it too far, because I felt like it was an emotional. It was an emotional thing. But my problem is not to say my problem, but before Kobe passed, it was they wanted Jordan on the cover. They wanted him to be the logo, and then I think it was another person that they said, but they wanted somebody else to be on the cover too. But I can't remember who it was. But the more I thought about it, and the more I really pondered on it, I really wouldn't have a problem with Kobe being the logo of the NBA.
Just make sure they get the image right. I mean, as far as the outline, as far as what move you want to have him doing, because you definitely want to have him doing something different than Jerry West.
Right. Because Jerry West looked like he was breaking his own ankles. He does, don't he? He like he's breaking his own ankles.
I was like, maybe just do this crossover without tripping over myself.
Yeah, and he like he's about to fall over. So I think the one that they did for Kobe, I thought was the one that I saw on Twitter for Kobe. I thought that one was actually pretty good. I like that one, but some people was trying to put it in Laker colors. I think it should still be in red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
I think it's still being red, white, and blue. But I like the one they did with the one, because the one they did kind of like what you see over here. What you see over here with how Kobe shooting the ball on the right hand side.
Right.
I think it was something like that with, but I don't think he was falling away too far back. But
well,
I think
they got another one. They got another one that I'm seeing here. It looks like Kobe. Hold up. Let me
send it in DM so I can put it up.
Hold up. Let me put this up. Share. Copy link.
Let me see if I can find the one that I was talking about.
Actually, let's see if I do it this way.
This is the one right here. I think this one is really good. I don't have a problem with that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Because see what I was saying is, see I said it was similar to that shot right here?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, it looks like it looked like it's exactly that shot. I have no problem with that logo.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one that you had?
I think I sent it to the DMs already.
Oh, you sent it to the private
There's
channel.
a bunch of them that they have. There's like 6.
Okay, let me copy this so I can pull it up. Let's see if that pulls up. Okay, these are some other ones. I like the first one. It's not bad. Matter of fact, I only
but
like
it kind of gives you that Jerry West.
It gives you the Jerry West look, yeah. But I kind of like the first one. If I was to pick out all of them, I like the first one. But I do, if it was up to me, it would be this one.
Yeah, that one has to be it. If they're going to change the logo, that has to be it right there.
Yeah, that I like that one. So, but yeah, I didn't put that in the title, but I wish I would have put that in there because that's something that we could have talked about. But yeah, I changed. I moved the FNF helmet, the first and Framerates helmet, and I put this up. I think I'm gonna have this up for a while because I've been playing a lot of 2K17, and I just decided to put that up there. I thought that's pretty dope. I got it on both monitors, and I wonder that was pretty cool.
I wonder. Here's a good tribute that 2K can also do, and this is for Gigi. If they could create her character. Well, I know people will probably do it on their own, but if 2K could make have that, they would have to do it some way. Have Gigi's avatar in the game playing in the WNBA.
I wouldn't be surprised that be in 2021.
Yeah,
but the thing about that is, I think 2K still has the rights to Kobe Bryant, so Kobe in 2K21 would not be a problem. The problem is to get her logo, I mean, get her likeness in it. That may be an issue. But I know they still have Kobe. I mean, they can get Kobe's. I think Kobe, they wouldn't have a problem keeping him in the game. I'm pretty sure his estate wouldn't have a problem with that. But the daughter, that probably would be a different story. Pooh, what are you talking about? Look, DJ, you see this?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
He said he loves the bottom right logo. You see this bottom right logo? I don't like it. That look like some NBA street stuff.
Yeah, that's an ugly. That's
you gotta understand that with a logo.
You gotta understand. Pooh's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so of course we don't like ugly shit. Like
Gotcha. Okay, you got it. I got it.
I love that bottom right logo.
Anything else you got before we go? Because Thursday we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. We're gonna talk about pretty much the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it's about to be a wrap on the NFL season.
We do have a question. And we're gonna
did he retract his statement? Talking about too late? Oh
no, we do have a question real quick before we close it up.
Oh, now he's talking about shut the what?
What do y'all think the best 2K in the past 10 years? Mine is 2K13. Past 10 years, damn 2K.
2K15.
I was about to say 2K11 came out in 2010, so I can't use. Oh, I can still use it. 2K11.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's either 2K11 or 2K19.
Yeah, for me it's 2K15. I'm like
2K15 was good. I
because
agree.
I'm like gameplay wise, like I go back and watch the old footage that I had when I did my series.
Uh huh.
You can't. To me, it's like you can't beat that. Get the interaction. It's
That
like
you
the
know what?
players didn't have all the extra. I know they were trying to for the current 2Ks 19 and 20, they're trying to get signature like individual movements and the stop and go and stuff like that. But there was not a lot of extra shit that put players out of position. That if you did a move, you did that move. That was it. You didn't do any other move. Like the
Right.
control scheme, I think was also a little bit different too.
2K13 was fine. The problem with 2K13, you couldn't block dunks. The ball tangibility was terrible in 2K13. That's the only thing I didn't like about 2K13. 2K14 is the best looking game this generation, basketball game this generation still. 2K14 and that wasn't bad, but I don't think the collision detection wasn't that the good in 2K14, but the
Mm.
visuals, the way those
Oh
players look in
yeah.
2K14 was just they were beautiful in that
Now,
game.
and that's funny because you also had that transition year. Because I know a lot of folks are complaining about like the feature sets. 2K14
It was
in the last gen had a full feature set, but the
14 was
one,
kind of bare bones, yeah.
yeah, but 14 for like the PS4, that that banged. That
Yeah.
that that definitely hit. And people were just it's like,
Man, when
damn,
you
the
you
game looked
saw
like
LeBron
this.
James, when you saw LeBron James and those facial expressions with him talking, and you saw how they did the interviews with him talking like mid and post game.
Man, when they did that, and it was just like, oh, here we go to ESPN 2K5.
Right. And visually, the game still looks good. It looks better
Hmm.
than any other 2K I've seen since.
Right.
2K14 looks amazing, and I'm surprised he got away from that.
Now,
Uh,
now, this is something totally random. Pooh just started up his Discord, and let me look because he has this god awful name for his Discord called the Gremlin Clan. Serves right for the head gremlin to call the rest of us gremlins because he's the biggest, ugliest gremlin of them all.
I'm gonna reserve my thoughts if I'm going to join that Discord. I don't want to be a gremlin.
Well, that you had no choice. If you join, you will become a gremlin.
Yeah, I don't want to
He
be
will
a
be the
gremlin.
leader. I forgot the name of that head gremlin that was the one with the white hair that wound up getting tossed in the water at the end and melted to death.
Right.
So
Hey,
take
that's funny
that.
though. You know what though? That's before Pooh's time. Pooh probably don't know nothing about that
Yeah,
movie.
he gonna call it something that he wasn't even alive to even watch.
Yeah, he probably don't know nothing about that. The Gremlins.
It's like, do you know how them gremlins formed? You don't have to. You better do your research, do
Right.
your
But
due diligence. I just taught a class on that just early in this podcast. You need to learn.
honestly, if I honestly had to pick, the most full fledged 2K was 2K11. The Jordan representation, everything about that was great. Now on the
Mm-hmm.
court and in everything is as far as modes,
Mm-hmm.
anything after 2K17 really you can because 2K17 was that one. Remember they did the my league and the injuries meant something and it was that deep where players had to wait a while and they had lingering injuries that would last and I think but if I really had to pick it'll probably be 2K19 was my favorite.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just respond to Pooh real quick. You can call it Pooh's Corner.
Uh,
After Winnie the Pooh.
I'm not going to comment on that. We'll
No.
help you out, Pooh. We'll help you out. Last thoughts, DJ. What you got before we come back here on Thursday?
Well, thank everybody for stopping by and listening to the two of us go back and forth. Not really go back and forth, but really just because I know we're missing, Bills, and it kind of evens us a bit. So we had to pick up the slack while he was out. So do appreciate the interaction in the chat. Pooh, you can kick rocks, and
Oh
I hope
shit!
what happened.
Nah, I opened up Sony Vegas on accident.
I'm about to say.
No,
So
I clicked the wrong thing. I opened up Sony Vegas. It's all good. I'm gonna close it out.
how you want something based off your name? You need to know who you need to know, let people know who you are and what they're joining. You're just gonna send them an invite and be like, all of a sudden they come in, they're like, what the fuck is this?
It's okay. Just my thing is, Pooh, just keep brainstorming. I'm not saying it's a bad name, but based on your content and what you do on your streams,
No, you know
it
what? It fits. He is a gremlin. Go ahead, keep the
don't do
name.
that to that man. No, I'm just saying.
No, if you like green, like your ugly ass eagles, yeah, go ahead.
No,
Gremlins.
my main thing is like based on your content and what you do on your Twitch channel. It to me personally, it doesn't add up to what you do.
Sonic's Land, Sonic Adventure, something like that. I mean, you got a bunch of Sonic characters that you post up as. So do something related. I would say do something related to Sonic.
Or
You know,
something like that, or
the
something you
Great
like.
Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, or something like that. I don't know what the world they lived in. So
Yeah,
what the
but
hell is he saying?
we're gonna get up out of here. iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Discord. Please, if you haven't already joined the Discord, if you listening to us
Yeah, we
on
ain't gremlins over there.
right, if you're not if you're listening to
We
us,
accept you as you are.
I
Sorry
don't
about
know, I don't
that.
know, I don't know about that because some people aren't coming in our Discord. So
No, I said I accept it. I accept people as they are. I don't call them any other, but they're what they want to be called.
yeah,
I'm
that's true.
inclusive that way. I don't rename people and call them gremlins and stuff like that when they come into the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord if you're listening to us here. Oh yeah, join the Discord. But if you're listening to us on YouTube or Twitch and you don't want to keep your app running, download us on Google Play or iTunes. You can listen to us on the go throughout the weekend or between now and the next episode, where you can find us there as well. Listen to your leisure when you're on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Check out my streams. I stream Borderlands. I stream Borderlands 3, and that game is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting to watch. The little bit I got a chance to watch.
Yeah, the game looks fantastic too.
Mm-hmm.
I had it running at 4K 60, and it looks really good. I didn't know how I could be able to run it, but I did. It did pretty well.
You were having some troubles in the beginning, but
Hey man, that's
you
how
worked it out.
that's how Borderlands 3 is, man. They give you a bullshit gun, and you got to go after all. You have to level up, so you're going to start off.
Trust me, I saw that part. That was hilarious. They gave you this like the little pistol. Now fight all
Right,
these people with this little ass pistol.
right. They start you off with some bullshit, but I moved up to level 5. I'm good.
And they gave you what's the character's name? Claptrap.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
tired of it.
I remember Borderlands 2. I played Borderlands 2 back in the day, so I remember that character's name, Claptrap.
Right, and he's back. He's back again,
Oh
being
god,
annoying.
annoying. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I did that. I'm thinking about streaming some Insurgency today or tomorrow. Probably if I'm bored, I'll just put the stream on. Whoever comes through, that's fine. But I appreciate everybody come through the chat, to the stream. My Raiders, that Raiders game against the Chargers, the ending of that game. My God, I am mad at the ending of that game.
Oh, you were banging because you're expressing.
Yes, I'm
okay,
at it. Quayface, if you're still here, he knows what I'm talking about. Daniel Daly, if you watch the YouTube video, if you look at the last bit with the last play of that game, you know what I'm talking about. Man, I love the '08 series of football games. That's all I'll say. Tomorrow, definitely, I will be doing an NC State one. I think we play Maryland or Boston College or whatever the case may be.
Don't rash me about Maryland because I really didn't care much about the college football.
So I'm not gonna do you like that. So
well, you wouldn't, because even if you rash Maryland, I'm like, I had nothing to do with Maryland. They didn't recruit me when I came out of high school. Fuck them.
Right. So so we out. I'll stream something. I mean, I had fun playing Insurgency today. They got a new mode. I loved it. So
yeah, and I don't have anything coming out this week. I'm waiting until everything passes with Kobe. Give everybody their time. The next thing you'll probably hear from me, see from me, will be State of Decay Nightmare Legacy episode 3. I have that waiting in the works as we speak. So
right, and also, definitely catch us on Twitter. Twitter handles
Mm-hmm.
down at the bottom. They're also in the description. So we'll see
Eh,
you guys on Thursday. We'll talk Super Bowl, mostly just Super Bowl and more Super Bowl. So so we'll see y'all guys later. Catch me on Twitch if I put it up there. You know where to find me. You guys take it easy. Peace.
Peace out.